Hey, Jim. How are you?
Hey, Kate. We got a really cool one coming up here, right? He's like my little brother from another mother, Jesse Solomon. We learned what Jesse Solomon would do, according to that famous little ditty from Summer House. But it was great to be able to talk to another cancer advocacy brother in that sense, because I think it's one of the quests I'm on since Audra's cancer, as everybody knows, and I talk about a lot. But we talked about really important topics like, younger and younger people getting diagnosed. How do we combat it through early detection and prevention and blood testing and all the things? And we get into some fun topics as well.
I loved listening, and I learned a lot about him and a lot about the platforms that he is a proponent of. And as someone who doesn't watch Summer House, it was nice to get the behind the scenes.
Yeah,
I don't
you
even
have
know
no preconceived notions, which is great.
I'm I don't know anything about the Bravo world. So I'm
look, it was part of my therapy. There's no question that I used it during Audra's illness, along with music and other things. And plus, I work in a very intense healthcare oriented, we're talking science and medicine and life and death. And sometimes it's just good after a long day of that to just watch stuff that is not, they do get into their own personal feelings and all that other stuff, but it's mostly pretty fun. I do think Summer House is a little different. I think it's about young people in New York City, and it's an experience I knew, right? As a kid in New York City, we went out to the Hamptons or New Jersey, and that was a real life kind of thing. So the fact that he confirmed that they're really buds, which you can tell they are. I had asked him when we met in person initially to first think about doing the show. And he did say if he knew now what he knew then, he probably would pursue more modern approaches or less invasive than obviously chemo and radiation. But it's such a well-known patient journey on testicular cancer, right? So it's like if you catch it early, and this is something Nick knows, right, on our team who's been through it, and you got to follow that protocol. And if you follow that protocol, you're going to have a good outcome. I think the only thing is, does it take a toll, like a lot of these cancer treatments do, on the rest of your body, right? And he's young enough, I think, to be able to navigate that. He's in his 30s. Early detection is the fastest route to prevention, as he said. So I think that's what's really exciting about this conversation.
And he's using his platform to make a difference outside of Summer House too.
Yeah, I think we're somewhat, he reminds me of me a little bit. You
guys got to go out in New York or something.
Yeah, no, I hope we do. I hope to get to know him a little more. Jesse, welcome. You're a 2-time cancer survivor at age 32. That's pretty amazing. What a run. I have a saying, everyone gets hit by the bouncing ball. Life will knock us down, but it's what we do with that ball that shows us what we're capable of. And you're doing a lot. First off, I assume Bravo might be a double-edged sword for you a little bit. It's obviously given you a platform to talk about your cancer journey and help others. What are the pros and cons? Most people privately deal with their cancer, but you didn't do that.
Yeah. I would say that it has afforded me just incredible opportunities and access to be able to do the things that I've always wanted to do. I was never good at having a 9-to-5. So now I'm able to kind of make my own schedule, do the things that I want to do. I worked at William Morris when I graduated from college in music and ended up working in finance later in my career. But it's good to kind of get back to a more creative side and do what I'm passionate about, which is the music. And I've just gotten to meet great people. I've gotten to be this advocate for the cancer community, which has been such a blessing. And I kind of figured, at least sharing my story would help one person going through something similar. From the messages I get, like people really connected with my story. Everybody knows somebody who's going through cancer. So that's really been like the most rewarding part. And then cons. Yeah, there's a few, but I would say the pros far outweigh the cons.
That's probably in most things. And given what you've gone through, maybe you can play like you got nothing to lose, right?
Exactly. Like, I'm just so grateful because I'm healthy. I just got my 7-year checkup and the doctor told me don't come back. He said, go to your general practitioner and just get like these extra 2 tumor markers. Yeah, I'm just like, when you're just happy to be alive, it's hard to get upset about the little things. And of course, I'm human and like I have good days and bad. And like being in the public eye can definitely add to the bad days. But it's mostly just like a blessing.
Looking at the show, when I watch it, it feels like you're surrounded by good friends and people. And when I lost my wife to cancer, actually, when she was going through it, I was fortunate. I had built communities around me. Is that something you're real good at? You seem like, you obviously are not somebody who just walks by people. And how has that helped, the crew that's around you?
I've always been extremely outgoing, and I've been lucky to have a lot of great friends in my life. I think going through the cancer stuff really shows you like who is going to be there for you when you need them the most. The Summer House cast has been like an incredible new family. And I think just like going through filming that show together, like there's certain things that like only we will understand. Yeah, it's just like they've been so supportive in my health journey and now in my music journey. And I just feel like so blessed to have that family.
Yeah, I mean, you came from an investor relations background. You said the finance piece. I did that for the beginning of my career. When and why did you switch gears? Like, what was the thing that said, I'm out of here?
I was working in finance when they asked me to be on the show. Then I filmed the whole first season and I still had my job. In the fall, somebody found out that I had filmed the show and they weren't so excited about that. And then it was a while until like I started making real money from the show. So it was kind of like a big leap of faith. I think I was just not happy at the end of the day. Like I was happy, but more unfulfilled would be a better way to put it. It didn't fulfill that like creative itch that I have. And that's kind of when like I got this opportunity. I was like, even if I get fired, I kind of think this is like a good trajectory for the things that I like to do.
I want to talk a little bit about the cancer journey. You talked about facing the fact that something was wrong. Can you walk me through that timeline? Wondering, is this an issue? And how did it all sort of happen?
Yeah, so I had been living in New York City for probably 2 years, and I didn't have my own doctor in New York. So I was like, let me just go get a physical. And I get like full blood tests, everything done. I felt maybe a twinge of pain in my testicle, but nuts sometimes just hurt. There's a lot going on down there. There's ropes and pulleys and things. And I was like, it didn't feel like anything really out of the ordinary, but they gave me an ultrasound. I did like, STD panel. I did everything. They called me back right away. And I was like, oh my God, I must have chlamydia. Like my life is over. I'm going to have to like tell the girl that I've been seeing, like I got chlamydia for the first time. Like this is terrible. And I go back to the doctor's office and I was like, Doc, give me the Z-Pack. And he goes, listen, it looks like you have testicular cancer. We're not going to be able to tell until we remove one of your testicles. And then you'll likely need either chemo or radiation. And that's it. And this was like the Thursday before Labor Day weekend. Like my typical doctor wasn't there. I was just like, am I getting punked right now? And then, I got a second opinion. A few days later, I was getting surgery. A week after that, I was kind of like post-op, but fine. And they had caught the cancer early enough that I didn't need chemo at the time. So they just kind of monitored it for a full year until it spread into the lymph nodes in my stomach, at which point I needed 4 rounds of chemo. Took 3.5, 4 months. Was not the best time of my life, but I learned so much from it. And I'm so just grateful for the experience. Obviously, I wish I could have learned the lessons that I learned from having cancer without having it. And like the physical toll that it took on my body upsets me for like my long-term health. But it's just was God's plan for me, and that's how my story was meant to go, and I think I'm a better person for it.
My wife used to call cancer a gift wrapped in barbed wire. She really, I thought, did a great job. She went on Patrick Dempsey's board and got involved in more holistic health. Did you do other things besides the chemo to make the quality of the experience better, or you just bared it and gutted it out?
Yeah, at the time, I wasn't really into all the health and wellness stuff that I'm into now. I was 23,
right,
at the best hospital in the world for this, Memorial Sloan Kettering, and they tell you your prognosis is good, you caught it early. If you do this treatment plan, you're extremely likely to survive. And you're kind of just like, I listen to the doctors. I don't know what I would have done if I went back in time and know what I know now about all the different treatment options that are not chemo. I mean, I'm glad it worked and I'm healthy, and who knows what could have happened.
Yeah. I mean, the big message we talk about on Get Real here is about getting real and going to the doctor and see, you want to know what's happening. Any cancer's, like you said, relatively treatable if you catch it earlier enough.
Yes, totally. That's what I like to preach as well, that early detection is the key to prevention. So go get your checkups.
Can't go enough. Cancer needs a team of doctors and a community of family and friends. Who are some of the people you could not have gotten through this without?
Yeah, it really taught me about how important family is. I grew up lucky enough to have parents that are together, a brother that loves me. His wife was very supportive. And it was really just when you can't stand up to get yourself food or take a pee, your literal dad and brother lift you up out of your chair. Family is who's going to take care of you when you're sick. And that's something that I couldn't fully comprehend until it happened to me. And I'm fortunate enough that I have good insurance and, went to a great hospital, and all the doctors and nurses that took care of me and were so nice and sweet and positive. I had Dr. Joel Scheinfeld at Sloan Kettering and Dr. Dean Bajorn saved my life. So I owe them a lot. And I just have a supportive community of friends that, they could have been going out and they decided to hang in with me and keep me company. So I just feel very fortunate for my crew.
Awesome. Let's talk about mentoring now. You're paying it forward. Immerman's Angels.
Immerman Angels, yeah.
What's it like meeting others, especially men around your age who've had experiences with cancer?
Yeah, since I am public with my story, I very frequently get people who hit me up and say, hey, this person I know just got diagnosed. Can you talk to them? The answer is always yes. And I even get messages from strangers, and I try to make sure that I get back to everyone, and I'm here to answer questions because not everybody's open about their medical history and it's their story to tell. For me, it's something that I'm not ashamed of. And I think that awareness is key. So I'm totally open to giving advice. And I think it's really helpful. When I was first diagnosed, I watched a YouTube series of this guy who documented his full journey. And it really kind of taught me a lot about what to expect. So I always love connecting with guys, reassuring them that it's going to be okay. It's going to be a short, tough time to go through, but you're hopefully going to be better for it on the other side.
Well, we both do a lot of work with cancer nonprofits such as American Cancer Society. Can you tell us a little bit about your work with that organization and kind of why you do it?
Yeah, I was able to bring the cast of Summer House to the Hope Lodge.
Yeah, I saw that. I've been there with my wife. We checked it out. It was so amazing to see you guys there.
Yeah, it was. I just feel fortunate that we're in a position to be able to just spend time with people, and that in itself is a way to give back. I don't take that for granted. It was great to get them involved, and they were super moved, and the cast is just so warm and amazing. So I started the relationship with American Cancer Society back in I think it was my first summer. I've done merch drops where I raise money that goes towards American Cancer Society. I climbed up the Empire State Building to raise money for the American Cancer Society.
The outside or the inside? I guess I would have known that. King Kong, kind of? What?
No, you run up the stairs.
I missed that. Yeah. I live near, my apartment's near there. I would have seen that. All
Yeah,
right.
no, they do it every year. It's like people compete running up the Empire State Building for time. So that was good. And then I was able to speak there recently in DC. But yeah, I just try to do as much as I can to just stay involved, spread awareness, use my platform to get the word out. I've been working with a camp in Long Island called Sunrise Day Camp, and that's all kids who either have cancer or their siblings have cancer, because oftentimes the siblings are kind of like the forgotten ones, and the kid with cancer is, kind of like taking up all the parents' attention. And that's like a completely free camp. So yeah, wherever I can kind of fit in, I'm just trying to make an impact.
So prevention, we talked about it. I like to say prevent the event, but it starts with being honest with yourself and everyone. There's a lot of chatter about men avoiding conversations about their health. For your generation, is that true? Maybe there's more to be done here about, again, the early detection piece is probably the thing. If you can make an impact, it can make it that way.
Yeah, I would say men should just make sure they're doing their self-exams every month. And if you feel something that has changed, that's when you should go see your doctor. Go get your physical every year, get your blood work done. I think my generation is less of manly men, but still there's a lot of pride. People just aren't as open to talking about like their private parts and stuff. So people are getting diagnosed with cancer at younger and younger ages.
Yeah.
And I think the guidelines of when you're supposed to get certain tests are kind of outdated, and people need to just make sure they're checking themselves and going to see their doctors. And oftentimes if you feel something, it's like things have progressed to stage 3 or 4. So you just need to be consistently going to get your checkups, like we've said, and then just like moving, eating clean foods. Like there's ways to really just like be a healthy person. And, sauna, there's different ways where there's fasting, all different types of things you can do to be a healthy person.
We had Paul Turek on. He's the leading men's sexual reproductive health specialist. How is sperm health like kind of a biomarker for the overall health? Have you looked into that? Do you think about that difference since you had testicular cancer? The reason I even brought it up is there was that whole Kyle sperm count episode. And
yeah, so before I did chemo, I did sperm banking, which was an interesting experience. Yeah, the doctors will make you, even if you don't plan on having children, they'll be like, if you change your mind, you need to have sperm banked. I, for whatever reason, have just like never tested my sperm since. I think the general guidance is like, it's better if you can have a baby naturally and don't need to use like your banked sperm. But I don't know. I thought I was pretty healthy before I was going into chemo, and that's like younger sperm. So I'll have to do my research and figure out which sperm I'm going to use when it's time to have a baby.
Or we do a competition. I figured you guys would, have a count competition.
Yeah, maybe I'll test both.
Yeah, let's see who's got the most. Kyle sounded like he had a lot, which is great. I met them in Cannes. They're real sweethearts, Kyle and Amanda. What good people.
The best. My parents got to meet them at my concert on Tuesday, and like they were just such honeys.
They really are. So cool.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little bit to the singing. We've covered a lot on cancer, and then I asked about your sperm, which I don't know if anyone's asked you about that lately. Let's talk about it. You had a music studies background. Were you in a band in high school or college?
So I sang every year of high school. I took voice lessons. Senior year, I was in like 2 singing groups and had 2 voice teachers. I went to public high school, but it was like a very competitive, intense public high school with like good music programs. And then I was able to get into the University of Miami Frost School of Music for vocal jazz performance. Yeah, I was a music major all 4 years. I ended up studying music business as well, and I still sang every day of college. I was in this group called The Extensions, where I sang bass. It was more of an a cappella group. I sang the national anthem at a baseball game. Like I had lots of really cool experiences in college singing, and then kind of decided I wanted more control over my destiny. And I figured, why not work in the business side of music? Because I didn't want to be like singing in jazz bars and not making any money. I don't regret that decision at all. Like, I learned so much, and I have like such a broad array of business experience now, which has really like helped me in my entrepreneurial career. But I'm really happy to get back to performing. Like, I was so happy on the stage the other night. It just like felt good and comfortable. And there's things that I wish I did better, but like, it was my first show. The vibe in that room was 10 out of 10. We sold it out. I just had been practicing so much, honestly, that like my voice was tired, and it was like 10:30, I think, when I ended up singing. And like, after the second song, I was just like, my voice is kind of shot.
When's your next gig?
I'm talking about a holiday gig with someone, but it looks like I'm definitely going to be doing more shows in the spring of 2026 all over the place.
So some fun questions. A lot of my followers are Bravo fans. We're not going to break any wild news here, bro. Don't worry about it. What's the most fun of being part of Summer House?
I mean, West and I just went to the World Series, and we were on the field with like the coaches and the umps, like right before the game started. And I was like 15 feet from Shohei Ohtani, like about to lead off. And it's just like experiences like that, things that you just like can't pay for, the cool opportunities it's afforded me, being able to give back to the community, and like people messaging me saying like, because of you, I went to the doctor, found out I had something early, caught it, and now I'm healthy. That has been incredibly rewarding. And then just like the friendships with the people in the house. I think that's what makes our show so special, is that like we really do love each other, and we really are a family. And like the show just wouldn't work if these were fake friendships.
So 2 questions I always ask, because I like it to keep it fun. But since you're a music guy, if you had to be put on a desert island and you could only bring one album, what would that album be?
Ooh. My mind immediately goes to John Mayer.
Wow. I just saw him at Rise Festival. He was great. He closed it. It was cool.
Was it fun?
Were you there?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, it was fun. You got to go. It was awesome.
I would just say like Continuum, probably.
Because I'm a Dead and Company guy. I mean, I'm a Deadhead, so as you can see, I like that. But he's obviously taken over the mantle.
Yeah, I'm not a big Dead and Co guy, but I love John Mayer.
Well, we can fix that. We might help you with that. It would take you to the Sphere.
Yeah, I'm dying to go to the Sphere.
It's the best. What is your dream vacation? That's my other question.
I've never been to South America, so I'm planning to go to Brazil. And I've never been to Greece, so I'm hoping to get there this summer. The issue with Europe is we film in July and August, so I haven't been able to like fit trips around filming. So I'm hoping to be able to go this summer.
Well, man, thanks a lot. I mean, I appreciate all this. I really, as a cancer advocacy guy, that's, I think, what drew me to you and what you've done. And I'd like to find ways to continue to partner with you to get the word out. You can't say it enough. And the fact that younger and younger people are getting it, we got to make sure we prevent that from becoming a problem.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you having me and the work that you're doing. And let's definitely do something again soon.
So, all right, Kate, you come back on and you'll have to convince them to sing a song with me, but I don't know if we're going to get that done.
Well, yesterday, Jim and I prepped the show, and Jim wanted you guys to do a little couple bars of What Would Jesse Do?
I just love that freaking episode, dude. I thought that was great when you all sang together. What would Jesse Solomon do? I don't even remember the
Promise
tune.
he'll be a friend to you. What would Jesse Solomon do? People are going to be like, Jesse, give it a rest, brother.
No, the voice is good.
I sang that song so long ago. I mean, people still love it, but it's like, yeah, it was almost 3 years ago now.
Well, Kate wanted a ditty where you said, hey, thanks for getting real with me today. I mean, I'm just such a bad singer.
Yeah, if you want me to like write a jingle for the show, I'm available for hire for jingle writing.
There we go.
I
Yeah.
like that. I want
Perfect.
music. We need music. I do think I'll get opportunities to get people on the show focus more in that area. And one guy, Mickey Hart, who was in the Grateful Dead, does a lot about music and mental health. We're all going to go into music in one way or another.
Amen.
It's the ultimate healer.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on the Get Real podcast. I hope you feel a little healthier hanging out with me. It's going to be a lot of fun passing this along to others. Please subscribe below. Please share. I'm excited not just to talk about healthcare, but a lot of other fun topics. It's about making healthy talk about healthcare. It's not a lecture. This is supposed to be fun, and look forward to spending more time with you in the future.